Okay, 20 of the must-see movies of the 1980s. And also, go completely guerrilla. I heard this term recently and I want to talk about it. And then again, we're going to close out this video with the 20 must-see films from the 1980s. Now, the term is called Go Completely Guerrilla, and as it applies to making small independent films. I heard this guy his name is Sean Baker. He makes independent movies. You'll be hearing about him pretty soon. But anyhow, I heard Sean Baker say this, and he was referring to his 2015 independent film called Tangerine. That was the name of his little indie film called Tangerine in 2015, and he shot this film with iPhones, which shocked a lot of people. Again, he made this little independent movie with 3 iPhones to save money. That's kind of hard to believe, isn't it? Shooting an independent movie 10 years ago in 2015 with iPhones. Raised a lot of eyebrows back then when he told people he was going to do it. Like I said, their eyebrows rose up. Now, he was not the first person to shoot one of these type movies with an iPhone, but he was the first to shoot with an iPhone in true scope with an anamorphic adapters that he got from Moondog Labs. So it was cutting edge stuff back there 10 years ago. It was cutting edge stuff when he made this movie. But he wasn't looking to be cutting edge. It was just he was trying to save money, and he found out it could be done, so he did it. Now, I have never seen a Sean Baker film, but in the next year or so, you will be hearing from him a lot. In the public eye, he'll be out in the public eye in the next few months or so. So you'll be hearing a lot about Sean Baker, and I hope to see a few of his films as soon as they come on Netflix. But until that time, let's talk about the 20 motion pictures from 1980s that you must see. Okay, before we get started on this list of 20 must-see movies from the 1980s, I must say I left out a few. I left out the Indiana Jones 2 and 3 movies. I left out First Blood. I left out Wall Street, Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. I left out Plane, Trains, and Automobiles. That was a very funny movie. I left out Risky Business. And I left out The Wrath of Khan. Khan, I'll chase you around the moons of Nebula. I mean, every one of these I just mentioned, they could easily be included in this list, but I left them out. Let's get right to it. These are the 20. Now, Terms of Endearment, 1983. You got to see that one. Platoon from 1986. Charlie Sheen. Great movie. Officer and a Gentleman, 1982. Good. Rain Man, Dustin Hoffman and Tom Cruise from 1988. Rain Man was a great one. Full Metal Jacket, 1987. Stanley Kubrick. I mean, do I need to say any more? Full Metal Jacket. 48 Hours, 1982. Nick Nolte, great. Midnight Run, 1984, another good one. Scarface, 1983. Say hello to my little friend. Caddyshack, 1980. Chevy Chase and Bill Murray at their best. The Blues Brothers, 1980. Classic. We got a full tank of gas here, a half a pack of cigarettes, and it's dark and we're wearing sunglasses. Let's move on. Once Upon a Time in America, 1984. Sergio Leone's last film. I can say no more. The Terminator, I'll Be Back, 1984. E.T., 1982. The Shining, 1980. The Shining, Jack Nicholson. This is Stanley Kubrick's second film in this list. I mean, what do you got to, nothing more to say about Stanley Kubrick. One of the greatest. Die Hard, 1988. I mean, how could we leave Bruce Willis off the list? That would be impossible. Then we have Raiders of the Lost Ark, 1981. We have House of Games. A lot of people don't know this movie, House of Games from 1987. It was a great one. You've got Escape from New York, 1981. And then you have Blue Velvet, 1986. Now, a lot of people think that Raging Bull from 1980, a lot of people think this was #1 movie of the 1980s. Well, I liked it, but I got to go with this one. I got to go with Blade Runner as the top movie. The best movie of the 1980s, I'm going with Blade Runner. But it really is a toss-up with Full Metal Jacket, isn't it? I'll leave you with this. What is a great movie? A great movie is a moving painting. When you watch this girl here walking down the street, that is literally a moving painting.